everybody, Kyle Sasser here, and this is Biztweaks, and currently driving in the office here, as you can see, across beautiful Tampa Bay. But I had something I was thinking about. I was speaking with a friend of mine who owns a small service business, and one thing that holds true in any sort of business, it doesn't matter if you're selling a product or if you're providing a service, if you want to put yourself in your customer's shoes to make it much easier for you to sell them a solution that's going to work really well for them, what you need to do is you need to understand your customers, and most importantly, you need to understand their pain point. Now, whenever I was having this conversation with my friend, he was thinking that he was looking at the pain point more so from the business perspective, in that he wanted basically sort of like a subscription for his service, where every month he would receive a fee, and in return he would go out and make sure that the equipment is working properly and all that stuff, to guarantee that there is no interruption in service, which is fine and definitely admirable. The issue is that to a customer, unless I know what this service is going to solve, I'm not going to be tremendously interested in it, because I'm just going to be thinking that you are just trying to sell me something. So, and this kind of ties into the framing thing as well, and how you frame products or services. So, having this conversation with him, I was like, that's great, and that's kind of your pain. Think about it from the customer standpoint. What is their pain? And the primary pain for his industry was that it is a very high cost of replacement or installation. So, this is big, heavy machinery and all that, and it requires, a few man hours to install, and just the equipment itself is very expensive. Now, you don't have to replace this equipment too frequently, but whenever you do have to replace it, it is a pretty sizable capital cost, and it's one of people's main concerns in this industry. So if the goal is to sell a recurring service like that, then what you need to do is you need to focus in on that pain point, and then make the customer, or show the customer, how your service will alleviate that pain point. So most people's pain point on that is the high cost of replacement. So two things you can do: either one, present the recurring service as like a maintenance agreement that is going to prolong the life of the equipment, and so it won't need to be replaced as soon as if it was just left to go. Because let's face it, most people don't really maintain their stuff as well as they should. So if you can defer that replacement cost by this recurring maintenance service, that's going to appeal to a certain segment of people who don't necessarily have that capital to drop on a replacement, and they're going to move over to the maintenance service. And the other thing that I had a conversation with them about is to set up some form of financing. So if someone doesn't want the maintenance service, then when it does come time for that pain point, which is a large capital expenditure to replace this equipment, when that pain hits, the customer isn't as afraid or skeptical, because you've provided them an option to get around that pain. So, because most people don't really want to spend like $8,000 at the drop of a hat. Just as a general rule, most people kind of balk at that. Now, if you're able to provide some sort of financing, either by partnering with private capital, or most industries have some sort of product like that, then you can put that to the customer even before they hit that pain point. So in the back of their mind, they associate you with relieving that pain. So let me illustrate my point a little bit. So air conditionings, right? Very high dollar equipment to replace, multiple thousands of dollars. It also has a very long life period, 15 to 20 years. Now, people know that ACs are expensive to replace. They know that. If you can position yourself as with the AC maintenance service, where you can say, hey, by doing this maintenance, you could alleviate you could extend the life of your air conditioning equipment by 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. That's a pretty good sell, and that might make sense to a lot of people. Now, if you also make it clear that whenever it does come time to replace that air conditioning equipment, that there is financing options available, and you do that before they get to the point where they wake up in the morning and the AC's busted and the heat's on, because it is, because it is going to get hot, or heaters, if it's wintertime and the furnace isn't running, same thing. Use that maintenance package, and then make it clear that they understand that when the time comes to replace this stuff, that you have made it as easy and convenient as possible for them to do it. 2 reasons why you want to do that before they hit the pain point time. One is because it's always good to be a little bit proactive. Whenever people wake up, especially here in Florida, and the air conditioning is broke, it's pretty much an immediate phone call. You cannot live without AC in Florida, at least not for very long. And I'm sure up north, even though I've never seen snow, that when somebody wakes up and there's snow on the ground and the furnace is acting up, it's a pretty quick call to the heating guy. So you want to get in front of that person before that, so when they wake up and their HVAC system is giving them problems, you are the first one that they think about. And you also want to do it because it puts you in a good light. And the reason why is because you have made it clear to them that you have options available to them other than, hey, give me $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 at once before I fix this. So you start, instead of that negative connotation that most people, when they wake up and they realize, they're like, oh crap, the air conditioner or the heater's not working, I wonder what's wrong with it, I gotta find a guy to call, how much is this gonna cost me? Instead of that, like, they're still gonna have those thoughts, but then the next thought is gonna be, oh, this guy at Joe Blow's air conditioning, well, he's got that thing where he said the financing is available. I'd much rather do that than have to spend $6,000 to repair this. I'm just going to call him because he seems to already have all that stuff in place, and that's going to be the easiest option for me. So, and then you're on a much better footing. You're not, they are calling you willingly instead of being like, where they're mad at the bill. You're already on that positive footing with them, which is half the battle. And then if you show up and it's just like a $200 fix, like you just have to replace a relay or something, so much the better. Replace that relay, ask them for a referral, and then follow up with them a few days later and ask them how the heater or the air conditioning's working. It's yeah, because that's one of those things. It's like tires. Like nobody gets excited about buying tires unless they're at the racetrack. And even then, they're expensive. People don't like buying them. So by finding your client's pain point like that, it helps you to reframe what service or product you're trying to sell as the solution to them. Rather than just beating them over the head trying to sell them something, in their mind, this is solving a problem, and your sales are going to be so much easier when you reframe everything that you do like that. Very important. So anyway, my name is Kyle Sasser. This is Biztweaks. If you are looking for more business tips, business training, business tidbits, and techniques and tools and all sorts of other cool things to help you improve your business, check us out. Website is biztweaks.com, and I'll put a link to that down below. If you have some questions or concerns about framing or finding pain points, let me know. Just drop me a question down below. I'll be happy to answer your question either directly in the comments or I'll do another video. And as always, hit that subscribe button, give me a like, and tell your mother that you love her. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. I'll talk to you.